Kids and cadets, welcome back to Tommy Time. Thanks for coming out. Today I mess with this Poulan Pro 30-inch cut rider that I picked up yesterday. I gave 30 for it. It had 3 flats out of 4. And I cleaned the carburetor. It didn't look too bad. Stale gas, but jets weren't plugged. So I started it last night. It still has that funny Nikki problem with the surging. So I'm going to change out the carburetor. I can get another one for under 15 bucks on Fleabay, so I'm going to go that route. You can get a rebuild kit for 12. It's just easier to get the whole stinking unit for 15. So basically these Nikki carburetors are pretty much standard. There's a bunch of different model numbers for these, and what I've found is the only variation you'll see is in the fuel intake. You'll either have a straight tube or a curved tube, and then on the float bowl you'll have these electric fuel shut-off solenoids. On this particular Poulan Pro, there's no solenoid. So what I'm going to do is, this is a new Nikki 6 carburetor that I got for another project. I'm just going to switch out the bowl with the non-solenoid bowl. These are threaded here on the bottom of the bowl to accept the solenoid. The Poulan Pro just has the standard bowl with no threading. So let me give you a walk around. I had this running this morning, and I just made a few passes on my front lawn here to see what it would do. Transmission is fine. I went ahead and switched out these 2 front tires that were blown out with a couple of spares I had. The spares are a larger tire and they're rubbing against the front fender, but it's still cut and moved easily. So I got to order a couple of 13 by 5-6 tires. These 2 are shot beyond repair. You can see how the tires on it are hitting the front fender here. Just enough clearance to get by. I had to let air out of the tires. I made like 3 or 4 passes in the front yard. Shift's great. It's just that surging in the carburetor. Once that's fixed, this will be a good unit. So I'm kind of happy with this one for 30 bucks. I hope my new scrapper guy that I made connections with yesterday calls me again. I think he's going to be a great source for mowers that need repair. I'll show you the Nikki that's on this Poulan Pro. As you can see, there's no solenoid. What I've found is the lower horsepower engines, they did not put a solenoid, but say 13.5 horsepower on up, they had the fuel cutoff solenoid. This here is only I believe 11.5 horsepower. I can tell you in a second. Yep, 11.5 with a 30-inch cut. and it's a 2011 model year. I had been messing with scooters. I had a couple of extra scooter batteries. That's what it takes. It's got a small cavity here for a scooter size battery. So there's a plastic cover here over the gear works and the belt under here. When I tipped this on the side yesterday, there was a rat's nest under there. It was full of paper, garbage bags, you name it, was stuffed up under here in this plastic cavity. So I fished all that garbage out of there and hosed down the deck. It cleaned up nicely. So I'll add this to my things to do. Switch out this carburetor, sharpen the blade, change the oil, and this will be ready to rock and roll. I'll wait for the two front tires to come in and spoon those on. So there you have it in a nutshell. I'm pretty happy with this one. Glad it wasn't a major catastrophe. It's going to work out great. You guys, thanks for coming out and looking at this with me. I think we got a good game plan going on.